Hi, and welcome back to our learning about space from our wonderful space book, Space, Planets, Comets and Galaxy and much, much more. Now today we are learning about the planet family. The Sun, which remember is a star, is surrounded by a family of circling planets called the solar system. This family is held together by an invisible force called gravity, which pulls things towards each other. It is the same force that pulls us to the ground and stops us floating away. So if it wasn't for gravity, we would just all float away from the ground. Us just floating away. So gravity keeps everything connected to the earth and makes sure that we don't all float off. It's very useful. The Sun's gravity pulls on the planets and keeps them travelling around. So the Sun has a very strong gravitational force, which means that it can keep all the planets in order and keeps them travelling around the Sun. So just like the Moon goes round the Earth, while the Moon is going round the Earth, very, very importantly, the Earth and all these other planets are going round the Sun. And that's really important because why? Why do you think it's important that we go round the Sun? Why do we need the Sun? Have a little think. Right, so let's have a look. Up here is the Sun, a star, okay? And it seems so big because it is our closest star. The tiny looking stars are because they are even further away from us. So here's the Sun. Then the closest planet to the Sun is Mercury. Then there's Venus, and then there's us, planet Earth. And there's our moon going around us. Other planets have moons as well. Then there's Mars, then there's Jupiter, which as you can see is much bigger than any of the other planets and definitely much bigger than us. Look at the size comparison. Then there's Saturn. Saturn is very famous for the beautiful rings that go around it. It's also quite a large planet. Then there's Uranus. Then there's Neptune, and then there's tiny little Pluto, which is a dwarf planet at the end. So those are the planets that make up our solar system. Now there are lots of other solar systems out there, but we concentrate on learning about ours because that is quite enough to think about. The 9 planets are all different. Mercury, nearest the Sun, is small and hot. Why do you think it might be hot? I think you can work that one out. Then Venus, Earth, that's us, and Mars are rocky and cooler. Beyond them, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune are large and cold, while Pluto is tiny and icy. Some planets have rings made up of ice, dust and rocks. Which planets can you see that have rings? From space, we can see the swirling atmospheres of the planets. So you can actually see the different atmospheres of the planets from space, which is quite incredible. They all look different. Okay, so us, for example, you can see that we have got water and that we have got land, which makes us very unusual. Some planets are hard and rocky and don't have any water, and other planets are just like lots of sort of boiling masses of lava, so very, very hot. You could never land on them. So planets are very different. And let's have a fun fact from Andy the astronaut. If the Sun was the size of a large beach ball, the Earth would be as small as a pea and the Moon would look like a pinhead. So to give you an idea of the size comparison, you could get those objects with your adults, a large ball, preferably a beach ball, but you might not have a beach ball. Let's get a large ball. And a pea and a pinhead, the tip of a pin. And look at the difference in size. And it just gives you just some idea of how much bigger the Sun is than everything else. So just look at that. So there we go. This is our beautiful and amazing solar system.